Greetings, hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Visual Studio Bunker session. And today I'm looking at this plugin, the valve compressor from Wavegrove, inspired by Handcrafted Labs, the Varis. And I happen to have the hardware that this plugin is inspired by. And let's go through the hardware first, and then I will go into the plugin and give some examples on how that works. So here it is, the Varis valve compressor from HCL. This design I have chosen to have in a black front faceplate and yellow lights. You can have it in the design you like, according to the options from HCL. The original Varis is with a blue front faceplate. On the meters you will see that the needle goes to the right, and the first big step here is between 0 and -1 dB, giving you a clear view of what's going on in that particular space. Very handy. It consists of a level control, beautiful level, threshold, all dented knobs, attack and release, triode pentode tube selection, sidechain on 150 Hz, 75 Hz or no sidechain, feedback and feed forward compressor style, and ×1 and ×2 on the values on attack and release. The hardware version has some trim knobs, and under there some hard bypass, mid-side stereo, stereo link and dual mono. The Varis sounds absolutely wonderful, and it is a very mood design with tubes and transformers inside, giving you that really warm and nice, smooth analog sound that is so desirable and wonderful. Let's go back to the plugin and see how that mirrors the hardware. And as you can see, the design of this is very true to the hardware, and as I talked about before, the faceplate in front center is blue like it is on the original Varis. So the same features are here: volume, threshold, attack and release, feedback, feed forward, triode pentode selection. And from there it starts to get more digital with the addition of the more smooth and varied sidechain here. You can choose much more options here. They have also added a dB reduction and gain to the sidechain, giving it a more tilt EQ kind of idea. Next to that, there's some release related selections as well that are not on the hardware either. There's a bus selection and tempo derived selections as well. In the bottom there's the input and output, almost forgotten and hard to see, but very, very important to this plugin. The circuitry and the intertwinedness of different elements on the plugin makes this both a little hard to set, but it also gives you a lot more options of what you want to do and what you need. So depending on the input and the threshold and the volume and how much vari gain is added or not, this all combines into a very deep plugin, I would say, and a plugin that you can really work with to get the sound you really like. So in the center section here, the meters, very close to the original, a bigger gap between 0 and 1, and then the steps get smaller. As on the hardware, as you saw before, the 0 dB was to the right. It could have been nice if they did that just to be true to the hardware, but anyway, minor detail. You have stereo link and dual mono, stereo and mid-side. The vari gain, where you get some box sound or some analog sound. By adding this, you add some more of the tube richness to your signal. You have dry wet knob and sidechain. And this little guy here, I think it's called Pico Diff, not sure. It controls how much the compressor reacts to changes in the signal and can bring back some air into the output. Under there we have oversampling up to 16. In the top there's some factory defaults. I haven't used those. I tend to start from scratch and go from there. So let's go through some examples on how it sounds. So there you have it, the comparison between the hardware Varis from HCL and the plugin made by Wavegrove, tuned by Tapeover, that is inspired by the Varis hardware. I would say the word inspire is important to keep on to, because the plugin by itself can be used for many things and sounds really good. And it's obviously also been inspired by the design, look and feel, but also I can hear the sound of the plugin gets close to the hardware. So if you don't have the hardware, I would definitely say get the plugin. It's a beautiful plugin and can do many things. I have the hardware, I'm keeping that for myself, that's for sure. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching, listening. I hope to see you again soon. Cheers.